You are very much privileged to tune into this second part of stewardship because I promised to produce another video to discuss about the second part of stewardship. The first part, I talked about the origin of stewardship. But we found that God Himself, the Almighty God, is the origin, is the one who brought stewardship. Here in this video, I'm going to discuss the second part, which is stewardship of time. We find that very early in the creation narrative, we find God designating time. And in Genesis chapter 1, the phrase the evening and the morning appears 6 times. God used time to separate the events of each day. You know, God is very orderly. So without time being segmented, life would be unbearable because people would work non-stop as nothing would show that the required time is over. You can see most of the time when you are traveling, I usually see when traveling to Nairobi, you find that towns like Narok, people work. At night, people are working. So without designating time, human beings could work non-stop. You see, that's why God brought what we call time. So you may ask yourself, why did God put time in place even before the creation of Adam and Eve? I think I can't explain all this here in this video. The purpose here is just to show the importance of time. That is the main purpose of this second part of stewardship. So we find that the importance of time is beyond computation. You could just imagine living without time. The following nuggets attempt to show how important time is. Number 1, time is important because God has assigned value to it. Very important. Apostle Paul, inspired by God, he wrote that we must redeem time that has been wasted. If we can buy it, then it must have value. Because redeeming is like you are buying it back. Even we humans assign value to it. To the sprinter, just 1 second alone can mean a prize worth millions of shillings. To the doctor, who has a patient on the other operating table, 1 minute can make the difference between life and death. So it means that if a doctor wastes even just a minute, then there may be death. And then to the candidate applying for a job, 1 hour can mean an employment for or a steady income. Just 1 hour can save you to get a steady income, or can fail you to not get an employment. And again, you know, for a student, those who are going to do exams, preparing for an exam, 1 week can mean success or failure. Just 1 week, I've seen students who are just becoming serious just 2 or 2 months or 1 month or even 2 weeks alone, and he or she can improve. So to the farmer, 1 bad season can mean bankruptcy. When it comes to salvation, a little time wasted or invested can make an eternal difference. So time is very important to God. And therefore it is very much important to use it wisely. It is important to you. It is important to me. It is important to everybody. Time, very important. And number 2, time is a measure of efficiency. Time is a measure of efficiency. We are told that anything that your hand finds to do it. Because there is no work, there is no anything in the grave you're going. I think if you read that one in Ecclesiastes 9 verses 10. So if you don't measure time, we can't measure efficiency. Changing a tire should not take more than 15 minutes. If you take 2 hours, it could cost you a job, you could lose everything. So do it in a minute or two as they do at the race, and it could mean victory for the racing car driver. Time is very, very important. I used to wonder when I was very young, and we were living with my father in a town called Elbagon. And I used to see the way Safari Rally is competing. My friend, these vehicles could run as fast as possible, competing for time. So you find that even those who are called typists are valued according to how fast they can type. Even the assembly line workers are measured according to how fast they can assemble the car or any appliance. So there is an efficiency, time. Though this is the commodity that people are really misusing. People are misusing time, especially in Africa. You will tell somebody that we're beginning a meeting at 10, they will come at 11 or at noon. Time, very much wasted in Africa. So you find that it is a commodity that has been misused by so many people. People don't take it serious. And that's why most people have been doing my own feasibility study. What is making us to sink, especially in poverty, is time. People don't know how to use time. People don't know how to manage the 24 hours that God has given us. You find somebody just wakes up early in the morning, takes 3 to 4 hours watching or 2 hours watching, talking nonsense, discussing politics, discussing how people are wealthy, so many things. So there is no efficiency. We should redeem time. Number 3 about time here is that time enables us to measure people's age. If you read Psalms 90 verse 10, so you find that without time measurements, it would be impossible to determine how long people live. It is easy to assign the number of years one has lived because of time. If we cannot measure someone's age using actual dates, we are forced to rely on looks to appropriate how old that person is. I can remember when I was a bit young in primary school, so my father was taking my elder sister to secondary school. He told us when after, admitting my sister, he told us that the principal there was telling him that, why didn't you come with the parent? So it was like my father was looking so very young. To her, he saw that maybe my father is a brother to my sister. So you could not know. You can't know somebody's age just by looking at somebody like this. You may think he's a young person, yet he's a very old person who has taken so many years. You see? We find that there are many people who look older than their actual age, while others look younger. Time helps sort out such challenges. Time, very important. Some medical prescriptions are given according to age. Without the measurement of time, how would doctors know the doses to give to their patients? I went to, that is 2017, I went to an hospital where I was given some prescription. But when I started taking the prescription, it really brought a lot of pain and problem and reaction. That was so negative. So I tried to go back with the same prescription, the same drugs, and I told the hospital pharmacist that this drugs are really disturbing me. But one of them, when he looked at the drugs, he simply asked those people who are there and at the counter there, that who gave these drugs to this young man? These drugs are meant for people who are in intensive care unit, or those who are over 60 years. So without measuring time, if you are a doctor, medical doctor, you will do a wrong prescription. Yeah, that's why even in the drugs there, it's written, this is for 12 years and below, or 12 years and above, or 12 years and below, give just 1 tablet times 3. Yeah. If you read Ephesians 5 verse 16, the fourth part of this is that time gives a sense of urgency. Something very important. So had it not been for time, there would be no sense of urgency, as we have said it earlier. Without time, as a measure of efficiency, tasks which require immediate attention would not be given the urgency needed. So there is an urgency. Pupils writing examination will take long to finish writing because, after all, there is no indication where the examinations are supposed to end. That's why we find that in our paper it's written 2 hours, or 1 hour 40 minutes, or 3 hours. You cannot just do exam from 7 o'clock to 6 p.m. No. There must be a period within which the exams should be handled. And we find that expecting or expectant mothers would not be attended to quickly when brought to hospital, because without time, the sense of urgency would not be there. Yeah. So that's why they should be attended so very fast. So what makes people accomplish much is the short space of time, to a large extent, is the presence of urgency. So we do it because of the urgency which is needed there. People going to work increase the pace of their work because time gives them a sense of urgency. If you go to Nairobi, you will see that. The first time I went to Nairobi, I was very much surprised because people are walking so fast, as if some people are being chased, and I was surprised. Little did I know that these people are chasing time, because they were also competing with the traffic jam. And because in Nairobi, it's a big city where there is a traffic jam and people want to reach at the exact time designated for them to reach and do their work. So you would find that people are walking as if they are in a walk race. So it is the sense of urgency that makes us worry when a task that should have taken 10 minutes is done in 1 hour. It is the sense of urgency that makes the relatives of a patient charter a plane to evacuate him and seek medical attention, maybe in India, or maybe in Qatar, or maybe in Jerusalem. So you find that this sense of urgency makes even the patient to be rushed to hospital using an ambulance. The sense of urgency should propel every Christian to do the best he or she can for the salvation of those still in darkness, because time is running out. Time is not waiting for us. And the devil knows that time is not waiting for us. Yet human beings think they have all the years, all the time to waste. So apart from that, time is important because its passing reminds and allows us to rest. So the passing of that time, it reminds us to rest. Number 5, time allows us to have rest. So I'm coming there. So we find that God, with his infinite wisdom, put time way before mankind was created, because he knew that without being able to measure it, people could work themselves to death. Time allows us to take some hours or minutes of our work in order to rest. Human beings can work and die working. Somebody was telling me that in the United States of America, some people work in hours anyway. Some work for 5 hours or 6 hours. But you'll find that some people work overtime and then they work at night, because what is taking them there is to work and get money. So human beings can work and work and work without resting. God knew it. God has infinite wisdom. He has the perfect plan. He had the perfect plan. He has the perfect plan. He is still having the perfect plan for human beings. So you find that having assessed how long a task will take, one takes rest without worrying about failing to finish it. Sin in this lifetime is an ally of mankind's. It is when time is abused that it becomes an enemy. But generally, time is our ally. It becomes an enemy the moment you are misusing it, because anybody, even any person you misuse or abuse, will not like you. So if you abuse time, time will not be your friend. It will be your enemy. Yeah. Time emphasizes, that is the sixth part, the Sabbath's importance. Most people don't want to hear about Sabbath. The setting of the sun tells us when the Sabbath has begun or when the Sabbath is ending. As we keep the hours of the Sabbath sacred, we are obeying God's command to safeguard the holy time. The day is sanctified. The day is set apart. So though we cannot really tell why God made time such an important part of human life, we can assume that one reason was the role the Sabbath was to play in the relationship between God and mankind. So the Sabbath would be to human beings a reminder of God as a creator. We should know that God is the creator. So Sabbath is very important for us. God designated time, a day that is set apart for us to rest. That day is commanding us to rest, to remember that is the Creator Himself. The reason why Sabbath was there for resting is to remind us that God Himself is the Creator. So the moment you are resting on the Sabbath day, you have identified that there is a Creator who created you. Yeah. So we find that without time, this reminder would not be there. Without time, God's stamp of authority over His creation would have been lost. Since the Sabbath shows who God is, it can be said that time helps define how God values the Sabbath. He's telling you, work for 6 days. On the 7th day, that is my time. Rest. Don't do anything. Rest. Don't disturb yourself with so many things. Rest. Yeah. And number 7, God wants us to be good stewards of time. Because I'm telling you, one day we will give an account of how we spend our time. So we should start reflecting on the usage of time right now. We should ask ourselves how we spend our average time, our average day. So because good housekeepers and treasurers work out careful budgets so that they don't overspend. We should work out a budget to show how we spend our time. That's why you find that CEOs, managers, those who are very much organized, they have the what we call diary. They write down what they are going to do each and every time. It really helps. The time God has given us here, He wants you to maximize it by reproducing, by subduing, by being fruitful. Because he says, be fruitful, subdue the earth, have dominion. You can't have dominion, you cannot subdue, you cannot be fruitful if you're not using time well. That is the fact. So you have to ask yourself, how many minutes and hours do we devote to important things like working, exercising, sleeping, eating, and spending even time with our family or loved ones? And again, what time? What time? What about the time we spend in less important and unimportant things like watching TV, playing or watching games, shopping and reading the newspapers? Some people, and I'm surprised, the people who are learned, for example, those candidates who have maybe completed the Form 4s, they've done their exams, they sit down in their relatives' houses or their houses, they just want to watch. They just want to play video games in their phones. They just want to play games. They just want to do shopping. They just want to do other things which are very less important for so many hours. So, and how much time did we make for the most important things of all? That is witnessing and living for God and reading the Bible or helping those in need and even preparing ourselves and others for eternity. Those are very, very important, very vital things. Ask yourself, what time do you take in such important matters? But you'll find that the answers may surprise and alarm us, my friend. The eighth part here, God gives us time to prepare for eternity. God is giving us time to prepare for eternity. Though we do not know the time of Jesus coming, the passing of time helps us to know what is coming. That his coming is very near. If you are reading the events that had been listed in the book, the holy book, the Bible, then you have to, because we have been told to watch and pray. And watching simply means to see the events that are happening in alignment with the prophecy. So we should be watching as we see the events and realign them with the prophecy. So you see, we walk on the timeline of prophecy and see, are we ready even if Jesus comes now? Or what events is showing what? Where are we in prophecy? Such like things. So God is giving us this time to prepare for this eternity. So, and if that is not enough, signs of the times past and present also help us know that for sure, Jesus is coming, and in the near future, is coming very soon. Apart from that, death itself is tied to time and helps us to prepare. So you have to know that God has assigned a day for you to die. Whether you like it or not, death is also there, looming. As the day goes by, you're coming next to your grave. So it is true that no one knows when they will die. But the fact that every living being knows that they will die, as we've been told in Ecclesiastes 9 verse 5, reminds us that we do not have limitless time to live here on earth. It helps us to realize that our life here on earth is limited. Hence the need to prepare for eternity. So you should not waste your time. It is the time to admonish, time to encourage, time to preach, time to evangelize, time to do generosity work, philanthropy, charitable deeds, all those things. It is just right now. Don't waste your time. And you start with the little that you have. Start glorifying God with what you have. Don't wait for perfection to start. Don't wait for a perfect time. I've come to realize that there is nothing perfect. If you start, God will start with you. God will pick up with you and will take you to the level that most people are doing it. Even if I'm giving a video here. I start it from the scratches, the way it is. So long as the message reaches people, I will have to edit and do so many sophisticated things as time goes by, as God works with me to do it. Yeah. The only question is, how ready are you for eternity? What are you doing to prepare for the end of the world? Very important, because there is the end of this evil world, my friends. So we have to prepare. So for this time, this very important message for you, as I told you, the reason why I'm teaching about this stewardship is not just giving. It is more than giving. It entails a lot that human beings can do to redeem all that God has given them, to have all that God has given them, to exercise their potentiality, to take care of the creation that God has given them, to be good managers. So one thing you'll do for me, please hit that button of like, share it, subscribe, comment. This is the only way you can pay me there, so that at least, God willing, next time when I download the next one, then you will receive, you will get a notification. So next, I'm going to discuss about talents. I'm going to discuss about talents. Let's meet there. Thank you.